So with me I have here one legendary metalhead from Germany, nowadays living in States, but anyway German.
Hello Finland. Hello Finland.
Wolf Hoffmann from the band Acceptin.
That's right.
So welcome to Tampere, Finland.
Thank you very much. It's we've actually been here before in the 90s, I believe. Or
yeah.
I can't remember when exactly, but it all looks familiar. We've been here before.
Yeah, so. I've seen you twice. So
yeah. There's proof we must have been here.
On the 90s and then in Tuska Festival at Helsinki.
Tuska Festival. Yeah. Very good.
So how are you doing it anyway? You have had a long tour already.
We've had a long tour, but we're still doing fine. Everything's going according to schedule. No major, nobody's gotten sick. Everything's going strong. We're doing well.
So have you had breaks between the tour dates, or are you just
we're playing about 5 to 6 days a week. So, I mean, there's always a day off or a travel day. Like yesterday, we spent all day on the ferry coming over here. Obviously, we can't play that same day, but it wasn't really a day off. It was still, traveling.
So you just had a tour around the States.
That's correct. So, for 6 weeks.
Do you still? Do you now think that it is your home country, that you are playing at home, or is the German gigs more?
The road is my home. I mean, wherever we go is my home. And I've lived in the United States for a long time, but I'm still considering myself German. I still go back to Germany several times a year. My family's still in Germany, and so I'm not American yet.
So how was it there on the band sense? So what kind of reception do you get as an
in America?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! I mean, it's a huge country, and obviously we have it's very diverse. But we love playing the United States. It's a great, huge country, and we love it very much. Very dedicated metal fans. Not quite as crazy as in Finland, but almost.
In general, how is your music received around the world? So,
man, we've got an amazing fan community. I have to say, wherever we go, the fans go crazy, and it's really it's a fantastic story for us to have all these fans after all these years. Being so into. You will see tonight. There's going to be fans that bring a stack of records that thick, all the way going back to cassettes, to 8-track, and to singles, and they have everything that we can sign. I mean, we have a long history, and fans, wherever we go, they show up with this stuff. So it's a great fan community to have.
You have also some new members in your band, not so new now, but they have been a few years already. But new from your.
Obviously the biggest change is we have a new singer called Mark Tonillo, and everything started about 3 years ago when we just happened to find Mark at a jam session. We just found Mark by accident, and I was visiting Peter one day. We were just planning to do a day of jamming and fun, and we invited a friend, and a friend suggested, there's a guy called Mark Tonillo. Why don't you, let him join you for the day? And that's what we did. And when he started singing, we couldn't believe it. It sounded like, wow, he's been in this Accept all his life. Yeah. And that same wow we get wherever we come with the new lineup. A lot of people tell me this is the strongest Accept they've ever seen.
Yeah,
and I think
back to the 80s.
Yeah, it pretty much is. And even the 2 records that we've made 2 brand new records, Blood of the Nations and Stalingrad.
Yeah.
And they're so well received. I mean, it feels like, better than the 80s ever was.
So your newest album, Stalingrad, is quite a pure 80s metal album.
Of course, that was the goal, yeah.
And it has had a really great acceptance around the world. All the critics are going wild, and all the fans are going wild. So how was it making that album? Was it great to go back to the beginning of Accept?
I mean, to explain how it all worked, I have to go back 3 years ago when we did Blood of the Nations, because that was really the big event for us, because we hadn't made any records in years and years, and just getting back together with a new singer and the new lineup and working with a new producer, that was a big.
Yeah, that was also produced with by the Andy Sneap.
Exactly, same producer, Andy Sneap, and it worked so fantastic on Blood of the Nations that we said for Stalingrad, you know what? We're just going to do the same idea. We're just going to use the same producer. We're not going to change anything. We're just going to write new songs and work it, record it real fast as we can, because we didn't want the fans to be, we didn't want to let them wait another 3 years or whatever. So we just said we'll crank out some new tunes, and it worked really well, very smooth.
How easy or hard was it to make this Stalingrad album?
Not very difficult. We only did it in 2 months. I mean, the songwriting process, and then maybe another 2 months, 2.5 months to record. So we started in August and we were finished in January. It wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, quite fast.
Yeah, quite fast by today's standards.
Yeah. Does it help that both you and Peter live in the States, in the same country? Is it even harder?
It has nothing to do. I mean, I'm always fascinated why people find it so interesting where I live, but because I still consider myself a German.
Yeah.
And but no, it has nothing to do. I mean, we have a unique situation that part of the band lives, the drummer lives in Switzerland, the guitar player lives in Germany, I live in one part of the U.S., Peter lives in... So we always have to fly, but it really doesn't make any difference if you have to fly from Denmark or from Germany or from Sweden or from the East Coast to the West Coast. There's always going to be some flying when we get together, and that's fine.
Yeah.
We also work online sometimes, but the main songwriting really has to happen when we meet physically in a room.
How do you like playing here in Finland, and do you remember something about the last time when you played here in Tampere? How was it, and what are you expecting for tonight?
Crazy metal fans. They want to, really get into it. That's what I remember. They like to party, they like to drink, so it's going to be a good night.
Do you have some memorable memories from the 90s gig or from the 2005 from the Helsinki?
I remember the Tuska Festival. That was amazing. I remember all the crazy fans with their painted faces and all the horns and the craziest costumes ever. I still have some pictures of really people dressed up as Vikings and as all in black and some crazy.
And drunk.
Yeah, of course.
So you have a very long history in the metal music area, and Accept has a really long history, about almost 40 years.
Well, let's call it 30 something, because
30,
our first record came out in 79, so it's a little over 35 years, something like that. Mm-hmm.
And you have also a history of very many breakups and reconnections. Is it hard to convince the crowd that now Accept is again back live and kicking?
We're not trying to convince anybody of anything, honestly. We're just out here doing what we like to do best, and that's making heavy metal, making music, And, I can never make any predictions for the future. It's just the nature of the beast. When you're in a band, there's going to be people coming, people going, and, obviously the biggest change we've always had, or the biggest struggle, was our singer, who came and he left the band many, many times, and he came back and he left again, and so now we finally found somebody that we hopefully can work with for a long, long time. And, if it's up to us, we'll never change anything. It's just human nature.
Yeah.
Nothing lasts forever, unfortunately.
One question about the new members. Have you managed to put them in the Accept mold, and so that
you will see tonight? Oh yeah, they're in the Accept mode. You better believe it. Absolutely, we all are. I mean, you'll see when we go on stage. It's going to be a full force, united.
So it has been quite easy to fit the new members to the old ways, or...
Totally. I mean, that's what I said from the beginning. When we met Mark, it felt like he had been in the band for years. I mean, it was a bond right away, And then the two other members, Stefan Schwarzmann and Herman Frank, they had been in the band many years ago, so we knew them quite well.
Yeah.
I mean, both Stefan we had worked with many times, and then Herman was for many years in Accept during the Balls to the Wall, Restless and Wild times, so we knew they would fit.
Do you know was the Mark was the new? Was he and is he a fan of Accept before he?
Funny enough, he'd been around a long time, and he had his own band called TT Quick, and very early on they even played some cover material of Accept, so he was very familiar with our songs, and he's also a very fast learner. He's amazing, because he had to go through all the records and listen to the songs, but man, he picks it up like that, and he remembers lyrics great, and so it's very easy to work with him.
So now there was only about 1.5 year break between the two records the Stalingrad and the...
Not even, just
Yeah.
a little over a year and a half, yeah.
So are we... is it reasonable for us to accept a new record?
No, it's not.
To-
You got to give us a little more time because we can. I mean, literally, we came off the road and went straight back to the studio last time, and
Yeah. So now you want to have some vacation also.
not so much vacation, but we need a little breathing time.
Yeah.
A little sort of recharging the batteries, and next year we're going to play some festivals, and the touring schedule will hopefully will be a little more relaxed. And what we'd really like to do is a live DVD next.
Yeah.
That's really what we want to do.
Can you make new songs during the tour, or do you need like a breather and your own
I personally can't. I've tried it many times, but it's very hard for me. I need some extended time where I concentrate just on writing music. It's really hard for me to do anything meaningful if I just have like 3 hours or a little bit time off in a day like today.
Okay.
And you guys always keep me from writing music because I need to do interviews.
Yeah, of course.
It's all your fault.
Okay, I take the blame. But I think now it could be a time for the last question, and it is a bit like from the Accept history.
What is it?
So-
Okay, let's have it.
Have you got your balls to the wall, and how crazy or drunk do you have to be to get in that kind of situation?
Many times I've been there, my friend.
And is that
And with a little help, we'll get there again tonight.
yeah? Is that perhaps a reason for the high-pitched voice of the metal vocalists?
Maybe that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, very much appreciated.
Yeah, man, it was great. Great talking with you guys, and hope
Yeah.
to see you tonight.
Yeah.
First row, right?
Yeah, of course.
Horns in the air. Matcha.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man. Good deal.